welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. I am going on to page 18 in our sketchbook today, and I think one of the hardest things about some of these sketches is looking at them and changing them up for what you're working on. Now when I look at this sketch, I'm seeing the paper background and I'm seeing this big thing of flowers. They've used all these beautiful wedding pictures. I don't have that, and in my mind I had to think of a way that I could make this very different while keeping this decorative aspect, which is, I think, part of what the focus of this page was. So I pulled out some more Christmas stuff. Now I pulled out some papers from the old Shades of Seasonal Siding, and I'm going to be using this green, and then I'm going to be using these two papers right here from the Shades of Seasonal Sidings. I still have a little of my Christmas tree left that came from Christmas Cheer this year. And then I pulled this piece from the Totally Tonal Avocado. So I've got a lot of things going here. I'm just going to set that pack out of the way. I wanted you to see what I was using. And my thought is that these two pages will be my backgrounds, because they bring in all the colors I've got going on here. So I'm going to set those aside. Again, those were out of Shades of Seasonal Sidings. That was a pack that we had last year. This one I'm going to use for some accessorizing. So here again, I'm going to set that aside. So the main decorative element in this is going to be this circular thing right here that they filled with flowers. I don't necessarily want to fill my stuff with flowers, so I'm going to do something a little different with this, and you may think I'm crazy, but it's going to work for me. So it tells us on here that you're using the outside largest circle custom cutting system pattern with the red blade. Well, I'm actually going to use my circle maker, and I played around with some sizing, and I have the black line on my circle maker at 5 and 2 ticks. Now, these ticks are not like in inches, quarter inches, anything. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4 in between each inch here. So 5 and 2 ticks. And to get it there, you just unroll this part, roll it counterclockwise. You slide it until the black mark is on the measurement you want, and then you tighten it back down. Now, this piece of paper is going to be plenty big to do that. And I can test that by just holding down here. I'm not engaging the blade, and I'm just running it around. And as long as these two pieces stay on the paper, I'm actually in really good shape. So I can maximize the use of my paper by sliding it as close to the edges as I can get that. So to engage my blade, and I'm still holding it in the same spot, I push in this white button and push down on the end as I rotate. Now, I didn't mention, but you better have a mat underneath your paper when you're doing this, or you'll tear your table up, you'll tear other pieces of paper up, whatever. And I used my 13-inch mat for that. So, let's move those things out of the way. And we've got our circle. Now, what I'm going to do with my circle is a little bit different. I'm going to kind of crease it. And I'm looking at these chevrons because I want the chevrons to go up and down here. I'm going to kind of crease it in the center, and I've done that just by lining those two pieces up. And then I'm going to angle and fold like this. So instead of that pretty flower holder design, I'm ending up with a Christmas tree look. And because I'm doing so many Christmas pages right now, that was kind of the look I was going for. Now I'm going to use a little repositionable tape right there and just secure that. I don't have a real definite point here at the top, but I feel like I've got some stars I could add to that. Now, I could even turn this way, and I kind of like that because then we've got that whole look without this opening. So I may actually even turn it that way. Now, let's go back and look at what we've got on the sketch. Now, basically, it's one whole sheet of background paper, but then you've got a stripe that's 12 by 5 that goes through part of that. So I wanted to use this Christmas tree for that 12 by 5 stripe. So all I need is my 12-inch trimmer. So I've got my 12-inch trimmer. The problem that I run into is that on the sketch, their 12 by 5 goes horizontally, my Christmas trees are going vertically. So I'm going to kind of make this my own thing, but use the elements of the sketch. Now, this was a scrap, so this gives me my 5, and then I've still got a little piece here, which in my world is going to make a 2-page spread. So let's look at what we got. We've got our 2 background papers. And I've kind of turned them so they're opposite one another. The colors here are the same colors here. But instead of putting my Christmas trees sideways, I'm going to put my Christmas trees up and down like that, just because I need them that way directionally. Now, basically what I'm doing is turning the sketch this way. My problem I run into here is that these Christmas trees with the white background are too, for lack of a better word, too fadey into the background I've got going on. So I went ahead and pulled this piece of this green just to make a little border behind that. And I think I'm going to do that with my decal blade. Just because if you watch me at all, you know I love the decal blade. It just gives us a little extra something. I hope those of you who have had trouble getting your blades out have seen the video where I turned them around this way so you have something to wedge it with. I hope that's been helpful for you. I taught some of my customers that the other day and they were thrilled by that. Now, in using the decal blade, I've got to cut off one little edge just so I don't have one decal and one straight. But then I need this to be a little bit bigger than 5. And because my decal edge is here, I'm just going to flip that paper over, decal edge, and then I'm cutting here to make myself another decal edge. That gives me a background for this paper. And that's going to go about right there. I'm going to leave a little bit showing here, but not a lot. And then I need to make one for this other little border I have on my other side. Let's just measure that border. It's about a 1.5. So I could take this decal edge out to my 1 3/4 and cut that. And I've got a border for that as well. We've still got some left over here. All right, so returning to the sketch, because now we're turned sideways. We've got this here. I did add a decorative edge to that just to give me the contrast I needed between my background page and my decorative element. And I'm just going to take this on. Now the sketch also has one other thing, and that's a row here of paper or 2 pictures there. Now I could very easily add a row of cardstock or some other type of paper, some patterned paper or something across the top there to mat on, but I'm not sure what my photos are going to look like. So at this point in time, I'm not ready to add anything else to that. I'm going to stick my little Christmas tree probably way over here because I don't want it to take up tons of my photo room. Right here, I've got lots of good space for photos. I've got space here for photos. And if you're like me, with Christmas photos, you need all the space you can get. So my little Christmas tree is going right over here in the corner. Let me go ahead and make my opposite page. And again, this was a 1-pager on the sketch itself. So I'm just taking the leftover things I had and creating another page with it. And I'll put this about the same amount of space away from the side as I did the first one. But this page is going to be great to hold lots of photos. And that is what I'm looking for. Lots of space for photos. Now, you know I typically pick one collection and just go with it. But I've had a harder time with that this year for the Christmas papers. I've had to add some papers here and there because of the patterns, because of the colors. The avocado paper seems to work pretty well with it. This Shades of Seasonal Sightings from last year works really well with it. Let me move these things out of the way, show you what we've got so far, and then all we really need to do is add a few little embellishments to this, and we'll be finished. Now, I was looking back. These are my stickers I have from this year. the Christmas cheer stickers. And I had a couple of little presents on here that I thought would be cute around my Christmas tree. So I'm just going to use my foam squares on those. I think I'm going to stick this gray one way over here in the corner, just because I feel like it gets lost over here in more busyness. And then stick the little red one right beside it. Then you can see that there are actually gifts there. And look at this star I have on here. That would be perfect for the top of my tree. And I did foam square it with one little bitty foam square. So I've added that. At this point in time, I don't know necessarily if I will need to title this, or, you know, this may be one where I cut something out on my machine. I do have Christmas cheer, which is pretty. And I could add it right up here in the corner just to add a little more red. We've got Farm Fresh Christmas trees, which doesn't really work for this. A gift for you. That's kind of nice. That might be a pretty one. Happy holidays here. Happy holidays here. You know, I think what I might do is go ahead and add this Christmas cheer right up here in the top corner. Or we could do that in the opposite corner to bring something across. Yeah, let's do that. Because this is a smaller little title, it will also give me room if I want to do something on my silhouette machine later. I can also add that. And this red here is pretty close. I'm going to just kind of put that on the edge of the white Christmas tree paper there and line it up across there. So I have a little title and this sketch is done. What do you think about that? I know you may be tired of seeing Christmas pages. It won't be long till I'll be going back to some vacation and family events, so things will be a little bit different. But I did want to do some Christmas pages just using this sketchbook to show you how versatile those are. So here's our sketch. We made this element into a Christmas tree, so it's a lot different, but I like the look of it. So I hope you enjoyed that idea. I hope you're playing along with us while we do these sketch challenges. And until next time, happy scrapping.